In fact, let me go to running notes and pull our discussion that we did yesterday. Uh, okay, so this is what we did yesterday, right? So we started discussing if else, and what we said was if you want to control the statements, right? If you want to control the flow of statements or flow of the program, and and when you want to control that, you want to also look at handling the conditions, right? So yesterday we learned how to handle one condition. Let's say if someone scores 90, you want to print welcome to club 90s. So this is the case where we have one condition. If it is 90, then print club 90s, right? That's it. If there's no else, there is no second condition built into it. So this is, we call it as one if block. Every if block starts with if, right? So this is another if block where it starts with if. Okay. So this is if block, and we start every block with if. And then you might have condition where you're saying, okay, if this is the condition, perform this, otherwise perform that. So there's otherwise, in the sense, if condition is met, to do this. If condition is not met, if it is anything else other than the given condition, then we use else, right? So every if block has to start with if, and the last condition is else. Okay, so if you have two conditions, then obviously you'll have only if and else. Then we discussed about multiple conditions, right? So again, this is one if block. So this is one if block, this is another if block, and this is third if block. Okay, in the third if block, again, it starts with if, and the last condition is else, and everything in between has to be elif. Okay, and what we discussed was, in one if block, only one condition will be executed or will be called or will be run. Okay, so if first condition is matched, then rest of the conditions will never be called, right? So when you're putting in different if block, you are making program run multiple times. So in this case, this will be called, and this condition is true, it will go inside, otherwise it will not go in and come directly to this position. If this is true, it will go here. Okay, if this is not true, then it will go to line number 16, right? The if else condition, right? So that's the way you use if else. Okay, in one block, only one condition or one set will be called. Okay, so here we discussed yesterday that why we didn't give average less than 80. So average greater than 70, yes, fine. But to get grade B, your average has to be less than 80, right? That's what we said. 70 to 80 is grade B, right? But if this condition is false, only then it will go to second condition. And if this condition is false, means average is less than 80, right? So we don't have to check, correct? So that's what we said, that we don't have to check if this condition is, if this is less than 80 or not, right? Because only if less than 80, only then it will come to this block or this part of if else. Okay, if it is not, it will not come here. So if this is executed, if this is true, it will execute and come out of the program. If this is false, it goes to and checks this condition. If this is true, it will print grade B and come out. Okay, if this is also false, it goes to this, performs and comes out. If this is also false, it goes here, performs and comes out. If this is also false, then this is else is default condition, right? There's no condition against else. So remember, else will not have any condition. It's a default condition. If none of the condition meets, then else will be executed. Otherwise, else will not be executed. Okay. So let's say all these are different conditions. Now let's say I want to club all these conditions. See, anyway, if I'm checking here also 50, here also 50 basically, right? So why to have separate execution? Can we combine them together? Yes, we can combine them together. Okay, how? So let's say if average is greater than 80, okay, so if average is 70, okay, it will become false and it will come here. So you're checking same average multiple times. Why don't we write code such a way that it checks those conditions only once? Okay. So for example, this condition itself, 90, correct? One option is I print here if AVG greater than equal to 90, okay, and I'll say print, or I'll copy this part. Okay, and you see that if this condition is true, this will never be called. So to print grade A, we have to add this statement also here. And this will become elif because this is second line, right? So this becomes elif. Now in this case, we can get rid of this part, right? Because we added in same if condition. So if this average is greater than 90, but in this case, you see, you got grade A twice we are printing, right? So see, the if else and the formula we're going to discuss maybe today or tomorrow, you have to be very careful with the logic, okay? And as I said, before you actually implement it in programming, first you try to solve it on paper, understand the concept, understand the logic, what you are trying to do, okay? So before you start typing the program, first the logic has to be clear in your mind, okay? And that logic, when it's clear, it becomes much easy to put it in codes, okay? So so if your objective, okay, is to print 90s message and grade together, right? So here you're printing grade A twice, okay? Nothing wrong, okay, with the statement, but it doesn't, the information has to be as crisp as possible, right? So what I can do here is to get 90, okay, I'll say, okay, if AVG greater than 80. And inside this, I will check for 90. Okay. See. Okay. Now see here. Okay. So let me, what I'll do is, we'll have it different block to show you the difference. Okay. Okay. So this is what we did in second if block. So what we could do is, we could check for 80. If it is greater than 80, only then there are chances that it can be true for 90 also, right? So check for 80, then you check for 90, and if it is true, it will print this. Otherwise, it will anyway print grade A, right? Because grade A is outside this if, right? If is here, all these lines which are inside if, this is outside if. So this will be printed whether this condition is true or false, it doesn't matter. It will print grade A, and this is what we want also. Okay. So how is this program different in terms of execution? Okay. So let me take a notepad. Okay. In the first condition here, when we have when you have we had here, right? If AVG greater than equal to 90, and we had to print statement, right? Okay, so let's see how many lines are executed. Okay, now in this case, okay, in this case, let's say your average is 90. Okay, case one. Okay, so okay, I think better let me open an Excel. So okay, case one, case two, case three. Case 3 is where we have added both the if together, 80 and 90 if together. Case 2 is where we have separate if else, right? And third one is where we have separate block itself, right? So let's try to do it. When you get 91, how many lines will be executed? When you get 81, how many lines will be executed? 71, how many lines? And 61. These are percentages, right? So in first case, if you get 90, see, line number 8 will be executed in any case, right? So you have 8 plus, right? So here in case 1, it will be 8 plus. Then how many lines? If average greater than equal to 90, yes, this will be executed. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 lines of code. Then it's going to check if average greater than 50, no, right? So it goes to else. No, sorry. Average greater than 50, yes, it is 50, right? It goes to pass and comes out. So you have 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then this was not there, right? So the second case, sorry. Okay. So this was our first case where we have separate block. Then we'll come to second case here. Okay. So we have 3 lines of code. Okay. 4, 5. Okay. Then it goes here. 5, 6, 7. Right? 7 lines of code. You know how I got 7 lines of code here, right? So totally we have 15 lines of code executed in case 1 where we have separate if. Okay. In second case where we have given if and elif together here. Okay. So see here. You start from here 8 by default. Okay. So in that case this is not there, right? Directly. So you have checking for this condition here. So 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. So you got 8 plus 6 lines of code. In third case, where we have 90 inside 80. Okay, so let's see this. 8. Okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? That's it. Then it comes out. No, sorry. No, this is the second case, right? I'm sorry. You have 8 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lines of code got executed here. 8 plus 7. Right? So now you see which is more efficient in this. When you get 91, then which is more efficient? Which method turned out to be more efficient?
The second.
Second one, because less number of lines got executed. Now exercise for you is to do it for 81 and 71 also. Let's see for 81. So 8 anyway, 8 will be called. In case 1, okay, so 1 line, it is error, right? So, okay, so this is, false will come out. So you get 1, then 2, 3, then 4, 5. So if you get 80, it is 8 plus 5. In second condition, you get 80. So 8, okay, 1, 2 for sure. Okay, then you come here. 90 is not there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines of code got executed here. 8 plus 4. If you had come here, so third case, 1, 2, then 3, 4, okay, false, comes here, 5. 5 lines of code got executed here, 8 plus 5. When we have 70, okay, 8. So here, yes, 1, 2, condition 1, okay, it'll check. So it will check here 1. No, sorry, this we missed here actually. So this will be 8 plus 6, in fact. So how? So 8, then this will be checked first, right? We are checking. So it is false. So it will come out to the next one. So 1, 2, true. So it will go inside. So 3, right? 3, then you get 4 and 5. No, it's 5 only, right? I'm sorry, not 6. It is 5 only. Okay. Now when you get 71, 8 fixed, then you check here. 1, false. Comes here, 2, 3. Then comes here, 4. Comes here, 5, 6. Right? So 6 lines of code got executed here when you get. In second case, okay. So this is not the second case, right? So here 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5. 8 plus 5. Oh, this is 71. I got confused here. So I think we got it right. So 8 plus 5 only. Right? 71, right? So 71 means 8. Okay, so you get it this condition. No, this is not a second case. Sorry. Second case starts from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 lines of code. Right?
Sir, sorry,
Yeah.
question. One more question.
Yes.
So why is it that we are not counting the 27th line too? Because average is greater than 60. So if it's 71,
No, I
so
told you, if this is true, it will go here and come out. Only one condition will be called. Whatever you write here doesn't matter. The first condition that is met, your programs, that if block is completed. So if average is greater than 8, that's what I discussed yesterday, right? That we gave
Yeah.
and we discussed, right? We gave and earlier, and then we said, no, that's not right. I mean, because if this is false only, it will go here. So if you come to line number 7, you will ever come to line number 7 only when you will have a value which is false here and false here. So value is less than 80, you will come to here. If value is less than 70, you will come here. So the moment you come here, it means that average is less than 70. It's not going to check. So that's the difference between if and elif. If every condition, that condition is checked, elif will be called only if all the above conditions are false.
Okay, makes sense.
Right? So you will ever reach this average of 60 only when your average is not meeting this, not meeting this.
So the
Right?
minute you hit the truth, or the true line,
yes,
that's when you stop the counting.
You execute the rest of the line and you stop the counting. So if this is true, I have to go and count this, because this will be printed, right? So this will be executed. So this is executed and then you simply stop there.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, so you know, this is how you can execute. You can go ahead running, you know, if condition. Now we'll do same program. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it more efficient as possible. Okay, so let's say I'm going to delete all this. So score average, and then you check for average equal to greater than 80, if and then you check for 90. Because see, if average was 70, you would still check for 90 and 80 separately if it were separate block. But for now, if it is 70, you don't have to check the value for 90, because if it is not greater than 80, it can never be greater than 90. So you have, you know, kind of reduced one step in checking. Yes, if it is more than 80, then you are checking definitely. If your value is more than 70, then number of steps are same. But when it is 70, 60, the 90 condition will never be checked, because if this condition is false, you will directly go to this condition. You will not check for 90. That's the advantage of putting 90 condition inside 80, right? So what we had was, okay, so now in this case, you see, we have to print pass also. So one option is you can print pass everywhere. You got grade A, you have passed. Okay, and that is everywhere, right? Because we want to print pass also. So instead of that, what we can do is you can simply put condition here, something like this. If AVG greater than equal to 50, you say print you have passed. Okay, else print you have failed. So you are building from simple condition. Okay, so no, before I just said, right, we have to do on paper. This is what generally we do on paper. We create decision trees. Okay, or the if clause here. So what I'm doing here, I'm saying first condition checking for 50. Is it greater than 50? Yes, no. Yes. Okay. Then you print passed. You print fail. Here we have two things, right? We have to say print fail and also grade, right? Grade E, right? So we say you have failed, and I'm going to take this and put it here. So when it is less than 50, our job is done, right? So you do two print statement. But when it's greater than 50, you print, right? And after print, again you are checking the condition. What is the condition? 80, right? If it is greater than 80, yes, then you print that you got grade A. Then again you are checking the condition. What condition you are checking? Is it greater than 90 or not? So this is yes path. So if it is yes only, it will execute. If it is no, then you check for 70. If it is no for 70, no path, right? So else is no. So again, I come here, I say, okay, this is done. 50. Now inside 50, I'm checking. If AVG greater than equal to 80, print. Okay, you got grade A, right? Pass is already printed. So you are saying you got grade A. Sorry. Now in 80, you check if AVG is greater than equal to 90, and you say this. Right? So you have if inside if, and this if is inside this. So if inside if is called nested if. Okay. Nested if means if inside if. This if will be called only if this if is true. If this if is false, whole thing with whatever is inside this if will not be called, correct? And if this is true only, even this will be called. If this is false, then everything inside this will never be called. Okay. So now when you say average 150, you have passed 80. Okay, so 80, you have checked this. Now we have to keep on building for 70 and 60 and 50, right? So again, second thing is indentation. Indentation is very important. Yesterday we said that when you have to indicate that something is inside a block, right? I want to indicate that these lines of code should be printed only if this condition is true. That means these two lines of code are inside this if condition, right? To make these lines of code inside this if condition, we have to give at least one space. General practice is you give a tab space, but at least one space you have to give. If I start from here, it means this is outside this if, inside this if, but outside this if. This if starts from here. See, there's a PyCharm will draw a line here as well. That means this is the line for this if, and this is the line for this if. If you are inside this line, you are inside if. If you are on this line, that means you are outside if. Right? So if average greater than 80, you get this. If average greater than 90, you get this. Okay. So there is no else condition for this. I'm going back here and I'm doing elif. Average, elif, average greater than 70. Then I go here and I print this. Okay. I keep going. I'll copy this since we already have it. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now see here, this is already average greater than 50. So I don't have to check for average greater than 50. If it is less than 50, it'll go here, right? So here itself, I can say else. Because I don't have to check for 50. It is more than 50 only. So if it is more than 60, grade C. Otherwise, you do grade D. So this is how you modify the same program where you have included multiple conditions. I'm going to delete this. We don't need it. So what we have done, we have built a multiple nested if condition, right? So now when I run it, if my average is more than, my average is 78. So I have passed, my grade is B. And thank you for, this is the last line and this is part of main. So this will be executed anytime, right? This is not in if else condition. So this will be the last line of the program. Okay. So if I make it more, if I make it this as 99, okay, this as 100, I should get 90, I guess. No, still 88. So I'll make this as 100. So you see that, Andy? So you have passed, you got grade A, welcome to Club 90s, you're 5th member, thank you for using our program. Right?
Right. So it basically just narrowed it down. Instead of writing every single line, you can make categories within categories.
Right. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll try to solve it on the paper first. Okay. So today we'll do a couple of programs, but we will not do it in Python. We'll do it in MS Paint. And once we're comfortable, only then, or we can do it in Excel, maybe it's easier. And then when we're comfortable, only then we will go and run the code. So let's say I want to, I'm sorry. So let's say I want to take 3 sides of triangle. I say A equal to 5, B equal to 10, and say C equal to 50. Okay, I've taken 3 sides of a triangle. I want to check if this triangle, if this is, I mean, what do you call, equilateral or isosceles or scalene. So before that, I have to check whether it is are these values, can these values make a triangle, right? That's the first thing. Can these values make a triangle, right? So how do I do that? How do I check?
Drawing it, I guess.
Okay. So there's a condition which says that the sum of two sides has to be greater than third side. Okay. So if you take any two sides, if you take 10 plus, it has to be less than or equal to. Okay. So when you say 10 plus 5, 15 is equal to 15. So, okay, any two sides, 25 is more than 5. 5 plus 15, 20 is more than 10. So basically, if you take minimum two side, and if the sum is less than or less than this value or less than equal to this value, it is possible to
Create a triangle.
Right. Okay. So how do you solve this problem? How do we write this problem? Solve it without Python first.
If A plus B greater than C.
Okay, but how do you know it's only A plus B only? Right? It could be B plus C also.
You would give the variables, you know, a name. So like A would equal to 5, B would
But
equal
how can
to
you
10.
control? It's given by the user, right? You can't control. I can give B equal to 10. Sorry, B equal to 5 and A equal to 10. Right? You can't control what I'm giving, right?
First find out the largest number.
Find the largest number. How do you find the largest number? You have to write a logic, right? How do you find the largest number?
I have to do loop.
Wait, so is Python giving me this or am I creating these numbers?
See, we'll be writing Python program, so you'll be getting the numbers per Python program. I want you to think before we write the start coding. What logic will you implement, right? So there's something that you are going to implement using Python. What is that you're going to implement? Okay.
Would you put all of these numbers in brackets or?
I'm not asking you to write the Python program. I'm telling you how will you solve it. Simple. Explain me in plain English. It doesn't matter whether it's in bracket or not in bracket. In plain English, how will you solve this? Step by step. What will you do step 1? Then what will you do step 2?
I guess I might be really wrong, but step 1, I would create a variable. Step 2, I would write the equation. Step 3, then I would solve that equation.
I'm telling you, don't think in terms of programming. Don't think in terms of I'm going to create equation. You tell me in plain English, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we have to do it. Okay. Don't tell me step 1, step 2. Don't tell me what equation and formula. And you explain me normal English. Forget about Python. You explain me in your high school English that how will you solve it? Simple. I'm not even asking you to use big, heavy words. In simple high school English, how will you solve it? Simple. If somebody asks you, okay, in English class, not in Python class, how will you solve it? Okay, how will you explain that? They'll ask you that, okay, there are 3 sides given to you. How will you check if it forms a triangle or not? So what will you do it? How will you do it? See, it's like this. Okay. let's back up from the mathematics. Okay. So how will you prepare a tea? Okay. Let's say you are explaining to someone how to prepare a tea. Can you explain me how to prepare a tea?
Yeah.
Let's try from there. Okay. Yes.
So you would need milk, water, and then tea. You would boil the water, put the tea in there, put milk
How will
in
you
there,
boil
let
the
it
water? If you say boil
Turn
the
on the
water, yes,
turn on the stove,
yes.
then put some tea in there, and then put milk.
If you turn on the knob and you can put directly tea on over a knob or your
No.
burner.
No. So I guess that's really basic. Okay.
Right.
You would turn.
Exactly.
You would.
So see, computer doesn't understand. Computer doesn't have brain, right? So you have to get to that basic level. You cannot skip. You cannot assume that other person knows things, right? I really don't know. If you tell me turn on the knob and put the tea, I'll put the tea on the burner, right? So you have to really explain me step by step. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Explain me how to prepare a tea.
Okay, so gather your I guess what's that thing called? Gather your dish to put the tea in.
Okay.
Put some water on inside that dish. Put that dish on a stove. Turn on the stove. Let the water simmer a bit. Put in some tea, and then once you see the water turn darker, put the milk in. Let the tea boil for a minute. Do not let it overflow, and then turn it off.
Okay. Okay. Good. So let me write down the steps. And so, you know, this is how a programming is also done. Okay. There's no difference. So that's why I want you to think in a very structured way. Okay. So what is the first step you said? Gather. What do you say? Gather. Take a dish.
Gather your cooking dish.
Okay. So you need to have before you just the dish or the ingredients also.
Okay, and gather milk, tea, and sugar.
Gather milk, tea, sugar. Yes.
And put water in the cooking dish or like the teapot.
Not teapot, right? You have to put it in the pan or dish or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then turn on this. Put the teapot, the dish on top of a stove and turn it on.
Then
add tea into the water while it's simmering.
okay.
Once the liquid turns dark, add